I am perhaps more so persuaded by a moral obligation to craft this thing rather than encouraged from this raw, intrinsic sense of self-achievement, or whatever the hell that warm thing rising beneath my navel that feels like a loaf of bread unfurling could be. What I do know is I am grateful. I am grateful, the kind of grateful that takes the tightened flesh on the backs of your wrists and pinches it so tight that a flash of pain like an axe against your throat reminds you of A, your mortality, and B, that you made it. I spent the first 6 months of the year pursuing a degree I enrolled in on a whim and working full-time plus a little more. Granted, it taught me more than I could ever have learned about A, on life and living, and B, on death and dying. It taught me I was doing both at once. I'm enigmatic like that, you see. I'm impatient. I get bored if everything isn't happening at once. I detest stagnation and will anoint the beak of my plague mask with dried roses, peppermint, and a vinegar sponge in some feeble attempt to run from the very thing that will inevitably consume me. Perhaps this sounds cryptic. Perhaps it's intentional. Interpret that how you will. I suppose what I'm trying to get at is I didn't catch the plague. Metaphorically speaking, because I caught the newest addition to plaguehood, the thing I refuse to honour by so much as mentioning. It's like drowning in your own bodily fluids, betrayed by the very thing that makes your heart beat, betrayed by the very thing that promises you'll be okay. To rephrase without crypticism, I quit my job and pursued my dreams of becoming a writer. Once again on a whim, because most things tend to be on a whim when you're dedicating the better half of your existence to dissecting the fabric of reality and attempting to craft something beautiful from it. Whims are where the magic lies, because you are releasing control, admitting defeat, insert something a little more poetic. You understand what I'm getting at. Relish in spontaneity and the thrill of what if? What if I implode? What if I win? Spoiler alert, I won. I've never been much good at storytelling because I tend to veer down the poetic route, which manifests itself as a riddle, and because I skipped the punchline before the plot has even been set. I won. To win is to admit defiance, so perhaps we were on the same team after all. I spent the final 6 months of the year engrossed in literature and language. I collected books, I read books, I reviewed books, I wrote books. I wrote books. I fulfilled my childhood dream. I defined my legacy, submitted to the prophecy, whatever you will. I suppose what I'm trying to say is thank you. Without you, I could have done it, but I wouldn't have. It is the unconditional love and support that finally convinced me. It is the infinite abundance of magic that humanity conjures, bona fide alchemy, and for that I am grateful. Anyway, I love you, thank you for this year and everything like that. I look forward to spending infinite more years together, you and me against the world, or better yet, on the same team. Pre-order my book if you want. You don't have to, but what if? Love always, Dakota.